Center court. The All England Club. The grass is immaculate. The roof is open, letting in the golden light of a perfect London afternoon. And 15,000 people are about to witness something that no one saw coming. The defending champion. The six-time Grand Slam winner. The woman who, just 12 months ago, had walked off this same court as the first Polish champion in Wimbledon history. She had not dropped a set in this tournament. She was the overwhelming favorite. But standing across the net is a 21-year-old from Quezon City who has already beaten her before. Alexandra Eala, the number 29 seed. The first Filipina in history to be seeded at a Grand Slam. A player who grew up hitting a tennis ball on a makeshift court painted over a basketball court in the Philippines. A player who stunned the world at the Miami Open in 2025, dismantling Swiatek in straight sets. The world expects a routine victory for the champion. The script has already been written. The media is focused on Swiatek's quest for back-to-back titles. Nobody is talking about Eala. And that, my friends, is exactly when the unexpected happens. This is the story of that match. This is the story of how a 21-year-old from the Philippines walked on a center court and stunned the defending champion. This is the story of how Wimbledon erupted. Let's begin. To understand why this match mattered so much, you have to understand what Alexandra Eala had already achieved to get here. She arrived at Wimbledon as the number 29 seed, the first Filipina in history to earn a singles seed at a Grand Slam tournament. The pressure was immense. The expectations were enormous. But Eala had been here before. In the first round, she made history. She defeated Renata Zarazua 6-1, 6-2, becoming the first Filipino player to win a Wimbledon singles match in the Open era. The crowd on Court 12 was a sea of Filipino flags. Thousands of fans had traveled from across the globe, nurses from Birmingham, engineers from Berlin, students from Melbourne, families from Toronto. Each one carrying a flag, each one chanting her name. Then came the second round. Maya Joint, the same player who had beaten Eala in the Eastbourne final the previous year. The same player who had just defeated Serena Williams in the first round. Eala lost the first set 3-6. The dream was slipping away. The fairy tale was about to end. But Eala refused to back down. She found her footing. She won the second set 6-2. She dominated the third 6-0. She reeled off the final 9 games of the match. 3-6, 6-2, 6-0. A comeback for the ages. A place in the third round. A showdown with the defending champion on center court. Before the match, Eala had spoken about the significance of returning to center court. "I hold Wimbledon very close to my heart," she said. "Being able to play here on center court the second year in a row, it's amazing for me to be able to do that and have these intense moments." She also reflected on her growth since her first round exit the previous year. "I was in a similar position last year. I think I was able to learn from that. I was able to go into this match with an improved mindset from last year." She meant every word. By reaching the third round, Eala had already secured the biggest prize money of her career. But she wasn't satisfied. She wanted more. She wanted center court. She wanted the defending champion. And she was about to get her wish. Iga Swiatek arrived at Wimbledon with a target on her back. The defending champion. The 6-time Grand Slam winner. A player who has dominated the sport for years. Her 2025 Wimbledon triumph was a statement. She had defeated Amanda Anisimova 6-0, 6-0 in the final. A double bagel in a Grand Slam final. She was the first Pole, male or female, to win a Wimbledon singles title. She had become the first woman since Monica Seles to convert her first 6 Grand Slam finals into 6 Grand Slam trophies. But Swiatek had arrived at Wimbledon with doubts. She had not won a major since her SW19 triumph last year and had yet to win a title in 2026. She had suffered a 4th-round defeat at the French Open. The pressure of defending her Wimbledon title was immense. And then there was the history. She had lost to Eala before. In Miami, Eala had dismantled her 6-2, 7-5 on hard courts. Swiatek knew that Eala was capable of defeating her. "She has a tricky game," Swiatek had admitted. "I can assume on grass that it's even trickier." Swiatek knew she couldn't underestimate Eala. But did she truly believe the Filipina could beat her on center court? The tennis world expected a routine victory. The script had been written. But Eala had other plans. Center court. The first match of the day. The sun was shining. The crowd was electric. Eala walked onto the court wearing a white sun visor supplied by Nike, etched with a Tagalog phrase translating to, "Once it grows, it cannot be stopped." Swiatek struck first, breaking Eala's serve to take a 2-1 lead. The defending champion was in control, but Eala immediately broke back. The momentum swung back and forth in a riveting opening set that would last 84 minutes. Eala broke again for 5-3. She held her first set point, but Swiatek locked in, producing 3 consecutive forehand winners to escape and level at 5-5. The tiebreak was a thriller. Eala built a 5-2 lead. Swiatek fought back with a 4-point run to reach set point. Eala saved that with an unreturned serve. She saved another as Swiatek netted a forehand. Finally, on her 4th set point, Eala sealed it as Swiatek mishit a forehand long. 7-6, 11-9. The crowd erupted. The impossible was becoming real. The second set was a statement. Eala pressed her foot to the floor. She raced to a 4-0 lead. Her left-handed angles repeatedly pulled Swiatek out of position. Swiatek's quality dipped in and out as she rescued one of the breaks and gave it away in the next game. Swiatek put Eala under pressure as she served for the match. But Eala was the braver of the pair on the break points. The final point was fitting, a long forehand from the frustrated pole. 6-3, 4-6, 6-4. Alexandra Eala had done the unthinkable. She dropped to her knees and rolled onto her back on center court after hitting a forehand winner on her 3rd match point. She gestured for more noise from the crowd. The defending champion had been dethroned. Swiatek finished the match with 44 unforced errors. Eala had saved 2 set points in the first set tiebreaker and converted her 3rd match point in a lengthy final game. The tennis world was left absolutely speechless. The reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Social media exploded. Filipino fans, who had stayed up through the night, were overcome with emotion. The comments poured in by the thousands. "I'm crying right now," one fan wrote. "She didn't just win. She made history. This is what representation looks like," another posted. "A Filipina on center court, beating the defending champion. This is everything." The phrase, Ealamania, began trending across social media. Fans shared videos of the match, each one accompanied by tears and messages of gratitude. Even the players took notice. Former pros praised Eala for her courage and determination. 9-time Wimbledon champion Martina Navratilova, who had praised Eala's atmosphere earlier in the tournament, was left speechless. In her on-court interview, Eala dedicated the victory to her supporters. "It's incredible to have my countrymen cheering me on and knowing that we're all in this together," she said. "This goes out to them. This goes out to my family. This goes out to all the little girls with ruffled socks and chubby cheeks. It means the world." The aftermath of the match was chaotic. Thousands of fans flooded the grounds, waving Filipino flags and chanting Eala's name. Security officers were overwhelmed. The tournament organizers were scrambling. The Eala effect had reached new heights. Eala, for her part, remained humble. "It's an honor to be able to pave the way for young girls. It would be the honor of my life to be able to inspire others," she said. She also reflected on her journey from the makeshift courts of the Philippines to center court. "I did not grow up on grass in the Philippines. I grew up on a court that was painted over a basketball court. There would be basketball hoops, so I couldn't really step back a lot because then I would hit the basketball hoop." A 21-year-old from Quezon City had just beaten the defending champion on center court, and she was sharing it with the people who had believed in her from the very beginning. The victory over Iga Swiatek was not just a win. It was a statement, a declaration that Alexandra Eala had arrived. The implications of the victory were immediate. Eala became the first Filipino player, male or female, to reach the 4th round of a Grand Slam singles tournament. She also improved to 7-4 against top 10 opponents, including 3-0 on grass this season. But the victory was about more than rankings. It was about belief. It was about validation. It was about showing the world that a 21-year-old from a country with no grass court tradition could conquer the biggest stage in the sport. "I've only dreamed of making tennis grow in the Philippines, and now I'm bringing a whole new audience to tennis around the world," Eala had said. That dream was becoming a reality. The Eala effect had transcended the sport. She was no longer just a tennis player. She was a movement, a symbol of hope, a symbol of what is possible when you refuse to give up. The victory over Swiatek was also a full-circle moment. In 2025, Eala had beaten Swiatek in Miami and launched her career. In 2026, she had beaten her again on the biggest stage in tennis. Eala's next challenge will be against number 13 seed Jasmine Paolini, the 2024 runner-up. But regardless of what happens next, one thing is certain. Alexandra Eala had arrived, and she was just getting started. And that, my friends, is how a 21-year-old from Quezon City walked onto center court and stunned the defending champion, Iga Swiatek, the six-time Grand Slam winner. The woman who had not lost a match on center court since she lifted the Venus Rosewater dish. But Eala was not afraid. She had beaten her before. She knew she could do it again. And she did. The crowd couldn't believe it. The tennis world was stunned. The Filipino fans were in tears. And Alexandra Eala had just written her name into tennis history. This is the rise of a phenomenon. This is the rewriting of history. And trust me, this is only the beginning.